Time to get back to my roots. Greetings audience, I'm Boomstick, and today we're going to be talking about the Spring Thunder, which surprisingly I've never done a mod overview on, which is kind of surprising considering how long I've been a fan and been running my Spring Thunder. But we're not just talking about the Spring Thunder, of course, we are talking about the body kit by Liza on Thingiverse, also known as Joseph Ho. Now the Spring Thunder is a 3D printed pump action shell fed and ejecting shotgun Springer. The Spring Thunder was designed by Harrison Liu, also known as G.26, also known as Shellington Blasters. This body kit, dubbed the Tactical Remix by Jonathan, also features the pump grip and pistol grip from Adrian, which are a lot of people's favorite grips and pump grips for the Spring Thunders. So it's no wonder why he just stuck with these two very popular grips. The main features of the remix that you'll notice is this stock is all completely different, along with the cheek rest, the rails, along with this front end here. It doesn't change anything about the functionality of the blaster, only how it looks, giving it technically a more aggressive look. So I do not recommend that you print this in all black. I recommend bright colors. Now as of now, unfortunately, there's no orange tip option like there is for the Spring Thunder. It wouldn't be that hard to make one, however, it's just something to be aware of that currently there's not a way to print an orange tip for this blaster without either changing the filament out partway in or printing this whole front section here in orange. Now, one of the downsides for the tactical kit, at least at this time, is there is not a option for the sniper kit, which allows you to get your Spring Thunder up to that 200 FPS and above range. So keep that in mind when considering. I didn't plan on running this with the sniper kit. I planned on running this strictly as a shotgun. If I want a 200 FPS blaster, I have other options available to me, even more shell ejecting 200 FPS blasters. So I do think that the sniper kit is worth it if you're wanting to get a blaster that does it all. However, for me personally, I'm probably going to just skip the sniper kit for now since I have other options. But again, Sniper Kit is definitely worth it. The hardware for the Spring Thunder can be found on Shellington Blasters' website, which I'll have linked down below in the description. However, you do have to modify some of the hardware as well as supply some new hardware, which I'll get into. Printing the Tactical Spring Thunder is pretty much the same as printing a regular Spring Thunder. There are some parts that need support, some parts that don't. Overall, it's pretty much the same. Now for assembly, as you can see here with the way that this whole back section is set up, the threaded rods on the bottom had to be cut. When they originally came out to here, they had to be trimmed down to right here, and then another set of threaded rods had to be added up here. There's also some extra hardware bits for the cheek rest and the stock, but other than that, it's all the same hardware that you use in a Spring Thunder. Now speaking of the Spring Thunder, if you've seen any of my live streams, you'll know that I always seem to struggle with the plunger tube here as far as crimping it on. I'm still not a fan of crimping, however I did find a good method of crimping it, which is to partially crimp it before putting it on the plunger, and then once it's already slightly bent, it's a lot easier to bend even farther holding it into place. So keep that in mind when building your own. Still not a fan of it, but I can make it work. And as far as the Spring Thunder comfort goes, much like the Chimera, it is the perfect size for me. There are a variety of stock options if you don't go with the tactical body kit. However, I do think they're mostly around the same size, but I do find this to be a quite comfortable distance between shoulder, grip, and front hand being on the pump grip. So I find it to be fairly comfortable for my size and build. Priming weight is, I'd say, a little beefy, but it's just a K26 in the back, so if you're used to priming a K26, it's going to be slightly beefier than priming a Caliburn just because of all the extra bits that are moving around inside the blaster here. And as most of you are probably aware, the Spring Thunder takes a variety of ammo types. Rival Buckshot, 2 elite darts or 4 half darts for birdshot, single dart, ultra from a shell by Radioactive Designs, Boomco, which I updated the Model 4 shell by Boomtendo to work with Model 5 and above, and Mega, which you can either cut down to fit in the shell or leave full if you just want to slide it into place. Now definitely check with your club before cutting down your Mega Darts, because some might not actually allow cut down Megas to keep their ability to pierce shields or kill specialty zombies. So double check with your club or organization for whichever for rules before you start cutting down a bunch of Mega Darts. Speaking of which, I do actually have a Mega Dart cutter if you are interested. Link down in below on Thingiverse. Now, even though the tactical Spring Thunder doesn't change anything at the performance, I still want to take it out to the range and show you guys how it performs so you can get an idea, just in case you haven't seen what a Spring Thunder hits. So, let's go, shall we? The buckshot and birdshot shells were hitting right around the 50-foot marker, while the single, mega, and ultra, while not accurate, were going well over 60 feet. I found that the Spring Thunder is highly effective, especially in the 25 to 30 foot range. I never missed a shot when it came to the buckshot or birdshot shells, and a shield at that range would be no issue at all. Now, as you guys saw from the firing demo, it's a shotgun. It works like a shotgun. It performs like a shotgun. Now for my Pride Thunder, I'm pretty much only going to be running it with the buckshot rival shells, just because I wanted a shotgun. For me, that means multiple rounds in a single trigger pool. And for those of you who are going to say that that's full auto, no. You know what I'm talking about. I've run the Spring Thunder for years and I'm very familiar with it. It is a really fun blaster to run. I usually run it at PvP games where the FPS is around 150, especially if there's enough cover where I can move from cover to cover. However, I've also used it at games where the FPS is 200. Now, I had a much harder time getting hits because I had to work my way closer to other people, but you can do it. But I will say, the most fun I've had running the Spring Thunder is at HVZ. I've recently started attending the UMBC Thursday night games, and I got a chance to run my Pride Thunder there, and let me tell you, it was so much fun. I have a pseudo costume personality caricature thing, that. If you're going to HVZ, I highly recommend a Spring Thunder. Just make sure you double check with your organization about the shells being left on the ground. I personally have been running it with a shell catcher for UMBC just because we're playing at night and I don't want to lose all my shells or have somebody accidentally trip on them. So do I recommend the Spring Thunder? Hell yeah. The Spring Thunder is currently the best 3D printed Nerf shotgun that you can buy at this point. And I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to run a shotgun, because it feels exactly like you're firing a shotgun because that's how it was designed. I'll have linked down below to Shellington Blasters where you can order Spring Thunders both in hardware or pre-built. It's a lot of fun, and I cannot stress enough just how much fun a Spring Thunder is. It is well worth the price, in my opinion. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of the Spring Thunder, especially the tactical body kit made by Jonathan Ho, aka Liza on Thingiverse. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon and be one of these lovely people over here. But if you don't want to do that, there's always the free options, which is liking, commenting, and subscribing, and hey, maybe even that bell. Really appreciate all you guys watching, and this video is actually going to be a little bit different because I'm just ending this video with as much Spring Thunder gameplay footage that I can find. So until the next video, boomstick out.